These are the CR8 XBT monitors from Mackie, and in this video we're going to see how they perform, what they can be used for, and give you overall impressions of them. So let's take a closer look and see what they're all about. The CR series of monitors are Mackie's entry-level active multimedia speakers. They come in a variety of different sizes and they offer a lot of value for their performance. They also have models with and without Bluetooth. We'll get more into Bluetooth in a bit. In this review, we're going to look at the 8-inch version of these monitors, which are the largest monitors in the series, and they also come with Bluetooth. Let's start by talking about price. Currently, these retail for $350 a pair, which makes them some of the most affordable speakers in their class. The crux of the matter is that they may be too affordable by comparison. Often we dismiss things that are inexpensive because we associate quality with price. So let's take a look at their quality and what you get for your money. The Mackies come well packaged. Included in the box is an 1/8-inch stereo to 2 RCA breakout cable, about 6 feet of speaker wire, a set of isolation pads, and a quick start guide. The ISO pads are a nice bonus since you're likely to need them, and they start around $50 a pair. Out of the box, these monitors feel very solid and heavy, as you would expect for monitors of this size. Physically, each monitor is 14 3/4 inches high, 9 3/4 inches wide, and about 15 inches deep. They are made of MDF, as most speakers are. They have a matte finish on the enclosure and a semi-gloss metallic finish on the front. There is a distinct green stripe around the face of each speaker, which is part of the branding in the CR range. And on the front, there is a secondary power switch that doubles as a volume knob. Additionally, each speaker has a rear-facing port, and lacking from the monitors are any sort of EQ adjustments. The CR monitors come with a variety of inputs. There is a set of 1/4-inch balance/unbalanced inputs, a stereo pair of unbalanced RCAs, and the CR8 XBTs as well as the CR5 XBTs have an additional stereo 1/8-inch unbalanced input. And the XT models also have Bluetooth for streaming. Additionally, there's an 1/8-inch stereo headphone output on the front of the main monitor. More on that later. Lastly, there is a convenient left-right speaker selection switch so you can arrange them with the main speaker on either side. It's worth noting that the CR monitors come as a pair of active and passive speakers. Unlike many monitors which have an individual amp in each monitor, these monitors have an amp in one monitor with a speaker-level output to the other monitor, which is passive. You then connect speaker wire between them and you have an active pair. This is most likely where they're saving costs and why they can offer these at such a low price. On the topic of amps, the CR3 and CR4 have 50-watt peak amplifiers. The CR5 has 80 watts peak, and the CR8 has an impressive 160-watt amp. The amps in the BT series are Class D, while the non-Bluetooth versions are Class AB. Now, all that power goes into a two-way speaker array consisting of a 3/4-inch ferrofluid-cooled silk dome tweeter and a polypropylene-coated woofer. The crossover is 2 kHz on the 8-inch model and 3 kHz on the other models. The frequency range varies by woofer size, as you would expect. The CR3 has a range of 70 Hz to 20 kHz, while the CR8 has a range of 44 Hz to 20 kHz. This would be a great time to point out that there is also a powered subwoofer available in the CR line, which features an 8-inch driver, 200-watt amp, a frequency range of 40 Hz to 180 Hz, and a max SPL of 112 dB. That will pair nicely with the CR3, 4, or even 5. With the CR8, you don't really need it as there's plenty of low-end extension and punch with the monitors, but we'll talk about that more later. The last spec worth mentioning is max SPL. The CR3 has a 97 dB peak, the CR4's peak at 100 dB, CR5's at 105 dB, and the CR8's peak at 108 dB. Since the average threshold for human pain is 110 dB, these monitors can go well above easy listening. On paper, these are some serious monitors and they have the potential to disturb the neighbors. So let's put these numbers aside and make some noise. The first thing I want to check is the frequency at the low end. For this, I'll use an audio analysis app where we can generate a sine wave and analyze the speaker's frequency via a spectrum analyzer. I'm going to use the supplied breakout cable and connect it to my iPhone via a lightning dongle. Now we're ready to start our test. Most of the energy in modern mixes is in the lower frequency range, so it's important to understand how these monitors perform in that range. We'll set our test tone generator at the lower threshold of the claimed frequency spectrum and turn it on. We can see a spike at that frequency coming back, and we can see decibels on the scale on the side notating the SPL level at that specified frequency. At about 50% volume on the Mackies, we see about 100 dBs of SPL at our low-end frequency. My studio is rattling, my dog has a very concerned look on his face, and my neighbors hate me right now. Okay, let's turn it up a bit more. What we can conclude from this test is that the Mackies perform to their claimed frequency range and SPL. That's important to me personally because most of the music I make and listen to has a lot of low-end information, and I'm trying to drop that bass. From this test, I know they can deliver as promised, and they pack a punch. One quick side note, in this review, I'm speaking in terms of the 8-inch version of the CR monitors. The other monitors don't have nearly the same low-end frequency response, so consider adding a sub if you want them to perform similarly to the 8-inch version. Alright, now that that's done, let's have some fun with these monitors and talk about some ways that you can use them. A common use would be to connect them to a computer, so let's see how that works. Since this model has Bluetooth, why even mess with the cables, right? Let's pair Bluetooth and scare the neighbors. First, we need to power on the monitors by rotating the volume knob on the front. We'll keep it low for now. To pair Bluetooth, they made it really easy for dummies like me with this intuitive sticker on the front. A white ring around the Running Man logo means it's on, but nothing is connected via Bluetooth. Press and hold this button for a few seconds and we get a flashing green light which signifies we're in pairing mode. On my computer, I go to the Bluetooth menu in System Preferences on a Mac, find the speakers, and connect to them. For PC users, this setup will be similar. Once connected, we now want to go to the sound settings and select the CRX monitors as an output. Now we're ready to rock. We can play iTunes or Spotify and rattle the block. Likewise, we could use them for gaming as these monitors make for a killer audio setup. Let's connect to Ableton and see how that works. In Ableton's audio settings, in the audio output section, select the CRX monitors as an output. We can now test our output by playing some notes on a drum track. We're now set to make some music. This is a good time to point out one of the issues with connecting to the monitors via Bluetooth, specifically when making music. In short, there's a latency issue with Bluetooth. For most applications, this may not be an issue, but if you're trying to play and record music, this can be a bit annoying due to the delay. Instead of using Bluetooth, we'll want to go through an interface and into the 1/4-inch inputs on the Mackies. Okay, now we're connected and we're ready to make some music with minimal latency. So what other ways can we connect these speakers? Well, you could of course connect a variety of instruments directly to the monitors, like a synth or a drum machine. This would be a perfect minimalist setup that offers a lot of performance and versatility. Simply connect from the output of a device to any one of the many inputs on the Mackies and you're set, and always be mindful of gain staging. This may be an opportune time to point out the built-in headphone jack. Although there's no obvious sticker or lights to point it out, we can just see a tiny black-on-black headphone icon next to an 1/8-inch hole right on the front. It's nice that they included a headphone jack conveniently on the front. You can quickly plug in a set of headphones just as your mom is about to throw your new monitors out the window. This automatically kills the speakers and the audio is directed to a built-in headphone amp. You can then control headphone volume via the same volume knob on the front of the speakers. Just be aware that when you unplug the headphones, your speaker's volume will be at whatever setting the volume knob was at, and your mom might have a heart attack. It would have been nice to see a second volume knob dedicated to headphones, but this works okay. I recommend turning down the volume whenever switching between headphones and speakers. In other uses, you can also connect this to a turntable and have a simple listening setup for that analog hi-fi life. Connect to a turntable with a built-in preamp directly into one of the inputs on the monitors. Set the preamp's level, and then use the volume on the monitors to taste. Of course, you could also pair the monitors to your phone via Bluetooth or via headphone output for that digital lo-fi life. These monitors make great listening speakers in a number of different settings, including a living room, bedroom, workspace, or even a bathroom. Sure, they perform well and you can use them for a variety of different things, but how do they sound? Well, I would say in short, they sound punchy, loud, and relatively clean. They sound better than expected. When considering their price, I would say they are a bargain. To get more specific, the low end on these 8-inch monitors had me giddy and laughing at times. The bass extension and energy is great. If bass is important to you, consider the 8-inch version or consider adding a sub. Also, they seem a touch bright at times, but that should smooth out after a thorough break-in period. I can't tell exactly, but they might be boosted in the lows and highs like a hi-fi speaker. But that could be my lack of acoustic treatment in my listening room. Otherwise, I would say they are awesome for general listening, gaming, movies, and making beats. The pros of the Mackie CRX monitors are that they are very affordable, they sound great, and they perform well. They have a variety of inputs that allows for many different uses. Beginner to intermediate musicians, beatmakers, and producers will appreciate their loud and punchy performance. Also, content creators and gamers will find that they can deliver an immersive audio experience. In terms of cons, the hardwired power cable and speaker wire may annoy some users. The latency with Bluetooth will annoy many musicians, but that's not a fault of Mackie's so much as Bluetooth itself. Just connect via stereo cable and you're good. And the green stripe. I'm not a fan, but some people may like it. The bottom line is that these monitors deliver a lot of performance at a very competitive price. If you're in the market, I recommend checking them out. That brings us to our friends over at Sweetwater. I want to thank them for their support of this channel and for being awesome. Their prices are competitive and their customer service is exceptional. If you want more information about the CR monitors from Mackie, check out the links in the description. If you decide to pick up some gear from one of the links below, it helps me out and it costs you nothing extra. Either way, you're awesome and thanks for watching. Thanks.